Hello there and welcome back to a new video. So Shivaratri just went by and I hope that all of you had a very spiritually rich and enlightening Shivaratri this year. And as we know, on Shivaratri, which means the night of Shiva, we are supposed to stay awake for the entire night, meditating in the name or image of Shiva. And Lord Shiva is one of the Trimurtis in Hinduism, who is considered to be the god of destruction. Shiva is also associated with death. Even though he is not the god of death, which is Yama, Shiva is believed to protect us from an untimely or a bad death. Or Shiva will bring us such a death that it will lead to immortality through the understanding of oneness or through Moksha. Mahamrityunjaya mantra is all about that, where we pray to Shiva to protect us from mortality or bring us such a immortality beyond the mortal samsara. Like how a ripened fruit is separated from the bondage of its stem. Kashi, the abode of Shiva, is also greatly associated with death. It is believed that dying in Kashi or being cremated in places like the Manikarnika Ghat will grant us instant moksha or liberation from the cycle of birth and death. All spiritual seekers and sannyasins and rishis have all gone to Kashi from time immemorial for a peaceful death or leaving behind their mortal body or their mortal identity and attaining oneness or moksha. And we definitely know about the folklores and the mythology, everything that is associated with Kashi, one of the oldest religious and spiritual places in the world. I have made a video about the saga of Kashi Vishwanath temple and also about the book Akhora. So if you are interested, please do check them out and also subscribe because more videos like this are coming your way. So the way that Hinduism or the Indian culture associates with death is a very interesting thing to look at, and that is what we will do in this video. The Indian subcontinent being one of the most spiritual lands in the world, it definitely has a very interesting and unique way of understanding death. We believe in Purusha or Brahman or the ultimate reality, which is the universal consciousness that does not begin or end. It permeates all life and it cannot be destroyed. When you look at life from that perspective, it is only seen as a reincarnation or a manifestation of this ultimate reality or this consciousness. So that way, death is just a passage from one life to another. So you die just to take on another life according to your past life's karma or this life's karma. And only the minds and the bodies are transforming. The ultimate reality cannot be destroyed or it cannot be transformed. And that is exactly what Bhagavad Gita also teaches us. And we never bury the dead. We always cremate the body because there should not be anything for the spirit to attach to once they leave that body. I should not say that India celebrates death, but it definitely has a very unique way of understanding death. And that is not just limited to Hinduism. Some of the greatest monuments ever built in the Islamic era were all tombs where the Islamic rulers and their loved ones were laid to rest. And that has created extensive necropolises that tell their own stories, which in a way immortalizes death itself. And I have always wondered why we needed to immortalize death so much. Do you also feel that these necropolises or this extensive labyrinth of tombs, what do you think they signify? Does it immortalize death? Please let me know in the comment section. I would really like to know your opinion on it. Now, if we zoom out a little more, different cultures around the world has very different and unique ways of understanding and dealing with death. We know that in Egypt, the pharaohs and other influential people were mummified and almost immortalized. Their bodies, at least, were immortalized. And it was also believed that they would go into the afterlife. And they were given everything that they needed for the afterlife. Western culture gives more prominence to the mental and psychological consequences of the death of a loved one or somebody who is so dear to us. So they are much more attached to the physical body of the dead, and they want to protect it, and they want to preserve and embalm it as much as they can, so that they can be with their loved one as long as it's possible. Places like India definitely don't have that kind of attitudes towards death. We have to cremate the body within a very short span of time. We have to let go. Grief is another very important thing, and how a community deals with grief is also extremely important. Like I said before, Western cultures give much more prominence to grief. And India, I'm not saying that India doesn't give any prominence to grief, but it is also mixed with other emotions. There are places in India where dancers and performers accompany the dead and the family of the dead, because the person who died actually did not die, they just got another life. So we should also rejoice in that. That's the belief. Contrary to most other parts of the world and most other cultures, in the Indian subcontinent, the corpse is cremated, that too within a very specific period of time, as we saw before. And that has two reasons. One is to leave no identity of the dead, so that there is no attachment toward the spirit or the Jivatma to the worldly things below. They don't have anything to come back to. They have to go on to the next life. And we also cremate because there should not be any identity remaining of the dead. That is, individual life or death does not matter in the fabric of life, because we are all one. So in order to erase all the identity, plants and trees are also planted on our ashes where our bodies burned, so that the cycle of life is demonstrated there. From our bodies, the plants grow and the cycle continues. The physical world has a very cyclical nature, and the Indian subcontinent, or the traditions in Indian subcontinent, is very aware of that. And in a lot of ways, it also helps with letting go or detaching much quicker. Sometimes we are forced to accept the reality of what we have lost. There is no other way around it. I don't know if that is brutal, but that's the truth. So our philosophy of death is that the body is Nashvara and Brahman is Anashvara. That is, the body gets damaged, that the body can be destroyed, but our consciousness or our inner light or Brahman or Purusha that is in all of us cannot be. And that's also what the celebrations like Shivaratri is all about. Shiva is the embodiment of this consciousness, and that is what we seek to attain on Shivaratri through meditation and prayer and so on. We are taught about detachment and oneness during celebrations like this, the Hindu celebrations, or any celebration in this part of the world. If you take any philosophical school of thought in the Indian subcontinent, be it Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, or yoga, or anything else, you will see this recurring idea of how you should let go of the fear of death, or the fear that life is passing you by. And you should detach from all the worldly pleasures which are tainted by the sting of pain as well. So you are supposed to detach from all kinds of sensual pleasures, all kinds of fear and doubt, and focus on one ultimate reality, one consciousness that spreads across all life. This is what I wanted to share to you on this week of Shivaratri. I hope you like this video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this with somebody who would also be interested to know more about this. Thinking of posting more videos, so tune into that. Subscribe. Well, it goes without saying that I don't have a sponsor yet, but not to worry, I will sponsor my own video more precisely, my book with. This is the first book that I wrote. It's a realistic fiction novel about 4 teens in a city enmeshed in a life of drugs, love, violence, and chaos. A tale of isolation and desperation one feels among known strangers in an unknown city. Well, this book is available on Amazon and Flipkart. The links will be in the description. I will also share the link to the video trailer of the book. So check them out.